Hello, we're back with another episode of Basketball Enthusiasts. Today we're going to talk about how do you think the series is going between Golden State and Boston? Okay, basketball enthusiasts, what do you think? What's your take?
The NBA Finals has basically been the same as the NBA playoffs this year. It's been a back and forth between a lot of the teams in the series, like the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. It was a back and forth series. Before the Grizzlies ended up winning, I think it was in 6 games, and then it was the Phoenix Suns and Dallas Mavericks, which was a surprise. That was a back and forth series, as well as with an upset win for Dallas, as I pointed out before. And then you had the Eastern Conference Finals. It was the Heat and the Celtics. That series, either team could have won that one. So the NBA Finals has basically been the same theme that's been happening throughout this year's playoffs, except I guess for the first round with the Celtics and the Nets, and that was the only series, the Celtics and the Nets. Even the Phoenix Suns versus Pelicans is a back and forth series where it came down to Phoenix experience over the young Pelicans, which allowed them to overcome the series. But anyway, though, back to the finals. Stephen Curry had an amazing performance on Friday with 43 points and 10 rebounds, and I believe it was 8 or 9 assists. Feel free to once again correct me on that one, how many assists it was. But yeah, a lot of people have been saying, especially Skip from Undisputed, a lot of people like him have been saying Steph needed a big finals performance. He didn't have that. Well, I think he got one on Friday. I think that's the one he was looking for. So now he finally has a iconic game in his career where people will look back and say, "Wow, I remember this moment of Steph's," because LeBron has so many of them, especially the iconic block he had on Andre Iguodala in Game 7 against the Warriors in 2016, and then Kobe had one against the Boston Celtics when they got their payback for what happened in 2008 back in 2010, and even somebody who gets overlooked like the great Tim Duncan, he had a lot of memorable finals moments as well. So Steph finally, he has that on his resume. So that's one of the things he can cross off his bucket list as a big finals moment. And the reason the moment was so big is because if Steph does not go for 43 points, I believe they lose to the Boston Celtics, and they're down 3-1, which would have been kind of reminiscent of 2016 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Steph, as his teammate Draymond said, I believe it was Draymond, or was it Steve Kerr said, on that night, Steph refused to lose. He would not allow his team to go down like that. But it also, Steph scoring and Steph basically had a really good all-around game, which I haven't seen too many of those from him in the finals. That's not to say he's incapable of it. I'm just saying I haven't seen too many of them. But he had a near triple-double, which was pretty impressive. But Andrew Wiggins helped him out with his 13 points and I think it was 11 or 15 rebounds. So Wiggins' rebounding the ball was effective as well, especially when the Warriors decided to go small. And Klay Thompson gave them a little something, which was 17 points. 17 points is a lot, is a lot more compared to what Draymond and Otto Porter gave the Warriors on Game 4. So that was big. What Steph was able to accomplish. Tonight is supposed to be Game 5 between these two teams, and in Boston, one of the things that they have to do, which has been an Achilles heel of theirs or weakness of theirs in the playoffs, going back to when they faced Giannis and the Bucks, was Too many turnovers. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have to clean that up. You cannot do this against this Warriors team. They're very dangerous. The last thing you want is Steph and Klay Thompson to get in transition, which is get on a fast break and start knocking on 3-pointers off of their turnovers. So they have to take better care of the ball. But also, another strategy I believe that the Celtics could have used in the game was from the highlights that I kept watching over and over. Steph kept finding individual matchups where he would take Marcus Smart to the basket, he'd take Robert Williams. If you're the Celtics, when Steph is when he's in a groove or in a rhythm like that, you have to double team him. You got to force him to pass the ball to Klay Thompson or Wiggins. Make one of those guys make shots, because you cannot allow Steph to just go one-on-one and start knocking on his 3-pointers. You got to double team him and force him to pass the ball. And Boston didn't do any of that. So I believe that's why they lost. But that's not to take anything away from the Golden State Warriors.
All right. So who do you think is going to win the game tonight?
I'm not sure. It depends on what version of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown show up tonight, and also are they going to take care of the basketball? So I haven't been sure this whole finals. Some Warrior fans are just saying the Warriors are just going to win. It's a foregone conclusion. Like I don't know about foregone conclusions, because like I said, I've seen it too much throughout these playoffs to just give a foregone conclusion. That's why I'm just like trying to watch to see what happens from a fan perspective.
All right, so there you have it. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Basketball Enthusiasts. Everyone have a very good day. Have a blessed day. Okay.